with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with more questions about the Premier's plan to sell a recently purchased private jet. Doug Ford issued an apology of sorts today, but as Siobhan Morris reports, he isn't sorry for buying the plane in the first place.
5 days after a shaky landing for the Premier on the purchase of a jet for government business, Doug Ford says he's sorry, not for buying the $29 million plane.
I apologize for not communicating it properly. I still feel it was the right decision.
The Premier feels he's convinced more Ontarians of that. But he won't be making a double U-turn and keeping the 10-year-old Challenger. It's still for sale, even though he feels
it's kind of embarrassing that a province our size, geographically and economically, that we have no government plane.
Doug Ford's news conference baffled the opposition.
I don't think he gets it yet. And the reason he doesn't is because he is so out of touch with the people of this province.
The Premier confirms his cabinet endorsed the big buy unanimously.
It just shows you how out of touch and out of control and tired and worn out that this government is.
The Premier insists the jet wasn't for him alone. He envisioned the 12-seater being used to move firefighters or victims of disaster.
I want to evacuate the elder, the children or whatever. I know it's small, but if you can take 2 or 3 trips real quick.
A justification opposition leaders see as pure spin.
This jet can't even land at Billy Bishop Airport in downtown Toronto. How's it going to service Northern Ontario?
The Premier does have access to OPP planes, but Ford says they aren't always available. And the turboprop?
You can sit there and put your arm on the other side and touch the plane, and you're bouncing up and down, and I'm praying to God that we land. It's terrifying.
Ford says flying commercial gets complicated with flight delays and cancellations and security concerns from his OPP detail.
Guy got into the rocket field, and next thing you know, he's calling me names at 30,000 feet in the air.
No excuse, says Marit Stiles.
Well, grow up. You're the Premier of the province. You don't think I get hassled occasionally? Big whoop. Big whoop. This is a privileged position that we have been given.
A position opposition leaders don't believe the Premier is taking seriously.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
City councillors in St. Thomas have passed a recommendation to transfer that city's portion of Highbury Avenue to the provincial government. It's an initiative with traction here in London as well, in the midst of a multi-year reconstruction project getting underway. Brian Bicknell reports.
St. Thomas's 2.5-kilometer stretch of Highbury Avenue runs from Ron McNeil Line on the north side to Highway 3 in the south. Mayor Joe Preston says with the rate of growth along the St. Thomas-London corridor, it's time the province assumed responsibility.
We already have a great number of people that live in London and come and work in St. Thomas every day, and we have a great number of people the other way also. We think it's important. We think the provincial government is listening to us as a regional basis now.
St. Thomas Council has endorsed a recommendation to transfer responsibility of the St. Thomas portion of the roadway to the province. It's part of a joint effort between London, St. Thomas, and Elgin County to have the province take over the 21-kilometer stretch from the Thames River South Branch to Highway 3.
So uploading this, I think is very important.
Late last month, the City of London unanimously backed a request that responsibility for the expressway portion of Highbury through South London be transferred to the senior government.
And I feel like this is actually getting a lot of traction and is really close to coming to a positive resolution.
Originally built as a provincial highway in the 1960s, it was downloaded in 1991. Today, Highbury serves as a key north-south corridor, carrying up to 50,000 vehicles per day. London has begun a 2-year reconstruction project of Highbury north of the 401, while St. Thomas has invested in upgrades to attract major industry. And Elgin County has identified the need to widen the highway from 2 to 4 lanes as early as 2035.
In bad weather, it's not a great highway because it's not straight, and it could really be of far better economic use for us if we can make it more lanes in each direction and a little safer.
St. Thomas's resolution will be forwarded to the Ministry of Transportation with copies to London and Elgin County. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, St. Thomas.
Good evening. We are live on location at Sari Therapeutic riding, and right behind me is Tony. We're going to tell you more about Tony coming up. Brand new here. I'll have all of that, but lots of weather to talk about. First, we had a beautiful day, lots of gorgeous sunshine across the region. Temperatures rebounding after a cold start to the week. In London on the hour sitting at 14 degrees, Midwestern Ontario 12 to 14. And the winds have been quite gusty today out of the south. Now we had all that sunshine, but a few pop-up showers developed late this afternoon. The majority of that light rainfall down towards the southwest, so not really impacting our forecast. You can see the cloud cover that's holding, but they're very light just outside of London right now. As we head through the overnight, skies will once again clear, but we have fog in the forecast. So over the next few hours, there's about a 40% chance of showers towards Chatham, Sarnia area, but they are quite isolated. Not everyone will see the rainfall, but overnight, clear conditions for everyone and lots of sunshine as we head into tomorrow, and temperatures continue to warm in the coming days. I'll take you through the forecast, and we'll have more live from Sari coming up a little later in the show.
Thanks very much, Julie. A sentencing hearing was delayed today for a London man convicted in the stabbing death of a 16-year-old last year. 20-year-old Trayton Hoffman was found guilty of manslaughter back in the fall for his role in luring away 16-year-old Malik McDonald Mills to the Glencairn area in August 2023. Once there, two other people chased McDonald Mills down and stabbed him to death. The sentencing date has been rescheduled for June 26th because Hoffman's lawyer had fallen ill. The two other suspects are underage and can't be identified. They pleaded guilty to manslaughter in December and are expected to be sentenced in September. Officials with Lambton Public Health say some residents may not be getting proper fluoride levels from their drinking water. They say it's because of ongoing repairs to the Lambton area water supply system, which began in January. Officials say the pause in fluoridation is not affecting water safety. However, they encourage residents to brush their teeth with fluoridated toothpaste. The Diocese of London is preparing for a major leadership change. The Vatican has announced a new bishop taking over this summer. With more on what marks the end of an era, here's Rita Ismail.
A historic transition underway inside the Diocese of London. The Vatican confirming that Pope Leo XIV has accepted the resignation of Bishop Ronald Favreau and appointed the Most Reverend Daniel Meehan as his successor. Meehan becomes the 11th bishop of the diocese, arriving from Peterborough, where he has served since 2017.
Coming here to London is in some ways it's a bigger challenge because it's a bigger diocese with a much greater Catholic population, and yet I know there's a great legacy here of love for the church, support for the church. You've got St. Peter's Seminary here, which has been so important in forming men for the priesthood.
Meehan says his priorities will include addressing pressing social issues, including housing and continuing efforts to rebuild trust in the church.
I think we've all become aware, especially in recent years, of the housing crisis in the province of Ontario, and it's something that the church has to be consumed with and involved in. And I know that through various organizations like St. Vincent de Paul and others, we've been really focused on trying to ease that situation and help people to find secure housing. Certainly, where trust has been lost in institutions, we need to show concern, transparency, and accountability in all that we do. And I know that's been a focus for Bishop Favreau here in London, and I intend to continue that focus.
Outgoing Bishop Ronald Favreau, who has led the diocese since 2002, reflected on more than 2 decades in the role.
When I look back on the past 24 years, I'm just filled with gratitude. There was enough challenges over those years. There was some tough years that things that had to be addressed by our church. One of the things for sure would be the abuse scandals and my commitment to meet with survivors. And those were very impactful for me as bishop. to hear their stories and to listen to them.
Favreau submitted his resignation last year ahead of his 75th birthday, as required under canon law, though he remained in the role until a successor was named. Miem will officially be installed as bishop on June 29th at St. Peter's Cathedral Basilica. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Organizers in Ingersoll have canceled a summer music festival for this year. They say they weren't able to secure sponsorship commitments early enough, so the Good for the Soul Festival has been put on hiatus for 2026. Organizers do say they're looking at a possible return for 2027, though. A provincial honor has been bestowed for storytelling efforts at a cemetery near Ingersoll. Jerry Dewan has more on the Potter's Field project and the unmarked graves it aims to recognize.
This monument was unveiled in June of last year, identifying about 400 people laying in unmarked graves in the Ingersoll Rural Cemetery.
Our goal has always been to recognize these community members who, for most of their legacy after they died, were not recognized or memorialized. We always wanted to center the individual.
Researchers from Western University, working with the Cemetery Board and local municipal governments, worked to tell their stories. That included using imaging techniques like ground-penetrating radar. Last week, the Ontario Heritage Trust and the province's Lieutenant Governor awarded the 15-member team an Excellence in Conservation Award. Debbie Johnson was chair of the Cemetery Board, which has since been dissolved.
I'm happy that we have been able to raise this monument and acknowledge all of these people.
The majority of those in this section of the cemetery struggled with poverty, racism, or other social challenges.
Cody Grote says the stories behind the names on this monument offer an important lesson about society in our time.
When we give public presentations about the Potter's Field and those buried there, we talk about struggles with addiction or homelessness. We paint these vivid pictures of community members, and we see this sympathy from community members about what happened. But we really do contextualize it with what we're experiencing in town as well. Struggles with lack of transitional housing. We have encampments where community members don't have safe and reliable housing to this day.
They include people who were targeted with the Chinese head tax or those who were escaping slavery and Jim Crow policies in the U.S. Some American family members attended last year's monument unveiling.
I've made friends with Robin Moore from Chicago, Illinois, who has several family members buried here.
Johnson is hoping others will make the effort to include Potter's Field memorials in their cemeteries. In Ingersoll, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Well, we're back and we're live on location at Sari Therapeutic Riding. We are joined by the Executive Director, Lisa Satan-Batel. Lisa, thank you for joining us tonight. First, tell our viewers a little bit about Sari.
Okay, well, welcome to Sari. It's great to have you here tonight. Sari was started almost 50 years ago by Sid and Jean Griedberg, and it is a wonderful barn farm where we provide therapeutic riding to over 350 participants. Wow. And every week we have 250 volunteers that come in rain, sleet, snow, and we have a wonderful program here for our participants.
We're going to get back to the volunteers in just a second. Okay. I mentioned Tony off the top, a brand new horse. Can you tell us how Tony came to Sari?
Yes, we are so fortunate. Just before Christmas, we had a large horse who was unable to stay in program anymore and had to retire, and we were on the hunt for a large horse. So we found the perfect horse. Her name's Antoinette. We call her Tony. And we needed money to buy Tony. So we are very fortunate. We presented to 100 plus women who care, a great group of 100 women here in London. And we presented the purchase of Tony to them. And we were so fortunate that they supported Sari to purchase Tony. So Tony came to us a few weeks ago and is now in program. And she's a very big girl. And she's able to carry our larger riders, our taller riders. And she's doing really well.
All right, and the volunteers, it's Volunteer Appreciation Week, and you mentioned this place runs on volunteers and funding from the community. And how many volunteers does it take weekly?
Okay, so weekly we have 250 volunteers. Wow. Last year we clocked almost 19,000 volunteer hours here at Sari. We could not run without our incredible volunteers. And like I said, they come no matter the weather, whether it's freezing, whether it's snowing, it's hot in the summer. They are here to support our program, and they have a great relationship with our participants.
Okay,
too.
Lisa, if people at home are watching and they think that perhaps they could use the service services here or they want to volunteer, how can they find out more?
Okay, they can go to sari.ca and all the information is there. We're always looking for new volunteers, more volunteers, and it would be great to have you out to the farm.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up later in the show, and we have more sunshine in the forecast, and I am sure those horses will love it. Thanks again so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. When we come back, emerging details from a mass shooting in Mexico that took the life of a Canadian tourist. Plus, the Prime Minister reveals who he's sending to the table for North American trade negotiations.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. A downtown city councillor's motion calling for a provincial review. My apologies. We're moving on from that story.
Gunshots can be heard piercing through the air as screams echo from the base of the Teotihuacan pyramids as tourists run for cover. This all taking place at one of the most popular tourist destinations on the planet. The shooting was initially reported at 11:20 a.m. on Monday. This web camera recording of the historic site shows the first moments as visitors began to run for their lives. Let's go. A closer look shows the gunman pacing, holding the .38 caliber firearm he used to kill one Canadian. The deadly attack injuring at least 13 more, including a 29-year-old Canadian woman and a 6-year-old boy from Colombia. The Teotihuacan pyramids are located here, roughly 45 kilometers northeast of Mexico City, making it a popular day trip from Mexico's capital. The shooter has been identified as 27-year-old Julio Cesar Yasso of Mexico. Seen here carrying a backpack, Mexican authorities say inside they found pamphlets related to an infamous U.S. mass shooting.
A shooting up here at Columbine High School.
The Monday attack coinciding with the April 1999 anniversary of the Columbine High School massacre in Colorado, where 2 students opened fire, killing 13 classmates and 1 teacher. Today, Mexico's president shared her condolences with the family of the Canadian killed, as did Prime Minister Mark Carney.
We're working with Mexican authorities on the situation, but it's a sad day.
It's a day that many witnesses who survived are still coming to terms with.
Some of the tourists started screaming, ducking, and running.
While some ran, others jumped to a landing below, alongside the pyramid.
We kind of try to hold on with our hands and kind of extend our full body length and then let ourselves drop from there.
Following roughly 10 minutes of terror, the Mexican National Guard shot Ramirez in the leg as he climbed near the pyramid's peak. That's where he turned the weapon on himself and took his own life. With Mexico set to co-host the upcoming FIFA World Cup alongside the United States and Canada, there are now calls for tighter security measures in that country. Ottawa is calling on a prompt and thorough investigation. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The Prime Minister unveiled a new Trade Advisory Council today ahead of trade negotiations with the U.S. and Mexico this summer. With more on the figures selected for this panel and their mandate, here's Mike Lecouture.
As the cross-border tensions ramp up in the playoffs, the Prime Minister is assembling his own team to enter the trade arena with the U.S.
I'm very pleased to have that group. It's a diverse group, leaders from the union movement, experts in industry.
Carney's reconstituted Canada-U.S. Advisory Committee brings together 24 CEOs, former politicians, and business leaders. Holdovers from the previous version include Unifor President Lana Payne, former Quebec Premier Jean Charest, and Flavio Volpe, President of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Now, there are plenty of new faces, including former Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole, the President of the Aluminum Association of Canada, Jean Simard, and the head of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce.
We can't forget about our small and medium enterprise businesses. That's 98% of our businesses, and so I look forward to sharing that perspective as part of the committee.
Hearing from people impacted by the Canada-U.S. trade war is key, according to the committee's chair.
I think it'll help our negotiations and it'll help the Government of Canada be informed in terms of these different perspectives.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre didn't criticize the committee, but he did take aim at the lack of progress in the negotiations.
He's done absolutely nothing on this file in the last year other than use it to stoke fear and distract from his catastrophic failings here at home.
So how far behind is Canada in negotiations? Well, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer is meeting with his Mexican counterpart to discuss CUSMA at the end of May. There are no such meetings scheduled for Canada and the U.S. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Rejoining Julie Atchison now live on location for us in Arva tonight. And I can see her inside tonight right now, Julie, but as you mentioned earlier, it's looking a lot nicer to get outside in the days ahead.
Yeah, that's for sure. We had some beautiful sunshine earlier, but I can hear the rain on the roof out here. It's actually sounds beautiful, but I know that you're hoping for less rain in the forecast and more sunshine, and I'm going to deliver that tonight. In terms of our week, we have some fantastic weather on the way. I'm sure you've been itching to get outside and enjoy some outdoor time, perhaps clean up the yard, get out into the farm fields or plant those gardens. Well, we do have some nice weather coming up. Today, our high hit 15 degrees, our low -2. So today we went the other way and we made it above normal. At the London airport on the hour, 14 degrees. The winds continuing out of the south, but starting to ease off just a bit on the hour. Satellite radar showing that little area of light rainfall. So we looked at this together last night in the forecast model. Most of it saying just west of the city of London. It's a little bit of a sprinkle coming down. Again, I mentioned a possibility of a pop-up thunderstorm. This is associated with that warm air that's driving in. So as we head through the overnight, skies clear, fog will develop. Now, temperatures are warming in Western Canada. Look at that, 22 degrees in Calgary, 23 in Regina, even Thunder Bay at 17. So the warmth is starting to move right across the country, with the exception out east, temperatures from 0 to +4. Now, overnight, milder than it was last night, 5 degrees in London overnight, KW, Mount Forest 4, and if you're near the lakeshore, around 6 degrees. 24-hour model clears that area of light rainfall out after midnight. Clear conditions expected through the overnight, and it'll be a nice sunny start to the day. Sunrise beautiful, and then heading into the afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud. Tomorrow afternoon, the winds will shift briefly to the northwest, but still ushering in some nice warm temperatures. A little bit of instability, as you can see, just out over Michigan, but we'll stay clear. Temperature by noon tomorrow already at 14 degrees, and we'll hit 19 in the afternoon. And then as we head into your Thursday, 19 degrees with lots of sunshine, and on Friday as well, mix of sun and cloud, and 16 degrees. We do have some showers in the forecast on Saturday. I'm not locked in on this weekend forecast yet, friends, so it will likely change. Forecast models have been indicating they've just been back and forth with this system coming in on the weekend, so it's still days away. Sunday looks all right, mix of sun and cloud, and 16, 17 on Monday. But look at the temperatures overnight. Above freezing every day, daytime highs in the mid to upper teens, with the exception Saturday will be the cool day. As we head to Midwestern Ontario, mix of sun and cloud and 17, 19 with sunshine on Thursday, mix on Friday, showers Saturday. Saturday's the cool day, the forecast high at 9 and 15 on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. Next opportunity for measurable rain, with the exception of tonight, will come in as we head into Saturday. Now, if you are looking to support Sari, they do have a golf tournament coming up on June 18th. It's at Riverbend Golf Club, and you can find out more online. They do have 3 fundraisers throughout the year, and all of the programming is funded through those fundraisers. So lots of volunteers, lots of fundraisers, and definitely this being Volunteer Appreciation Week, nice to recognize all the volunteers who make Sari accessible and great for everyone to be able to come out and enjoy. I'm going to send things back to the newsroom tonight, but a great night for a ride. There are a couple kids right now riding the horses, and it's just such a lovely environment here. Definitely a place to see. Back to you.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, counterfeit currency showing up more often. A warning from Toronto police about the prevalence of fake bills. And Lauren Stallone is with me. We're looking ahead to Behind the Lights coming up later in the newscast. What are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about today's version of a fidget spinner, for anybody who remembers those.
All right, we're going to check that out. Stay with us.
Did you know that this is your last week to try and win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday?
Yeah, make sure you're listening for all those keywords. We announce a new one every single hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you can be $50,000 richer.
Toronto police say there's been an increase in counterfeit money circulating in the GTA. As Pat Foran reports, for anyone making cash transactions, take particular caution when dealing with larger bills.
Lisa Polyakova of North York now has a stack of fake hundreds and $50 bills. She was trying to sell an iPhone 15 Pro Max on Facebook Marketplace, and someone agreed to buy it.
He will come on April 5th to pick up the phone, and he will bring $900 cash.
Polyakova met the buyer in the lobby of her condo, and after he examined the phone, he agreed to purchase it and gave her the cash.
When he first handed you this money, did you think it looked like real money?
Yes.
But when Polyakova took the bills to a bank machine, it refused to accept them.
He took the money in, and then on this, it was like counting the items, and then on the screen it showed unrecognized items.
When she went to a teller, they confirmed the bills were counterfeit.
He showed me like the signs that it's fake, like look at the color, the magnetic stripe is coming off, the serial numbers are a repeat.
In January, we did a story with a trailer company which was also scammed. A person bought a trailer for $12,000 cash, but half the money was counterfeit.
We did purchase money counters right now for all our locations, and I've told my entire team to double check every bill.
We've seen a definite upsurge in counterfeit cash.
Toronto police say in 2025 they collected $94,000 in counterfeit bills, but so far this year they've already surpassed that amount, collecting $133,000 in fake currency.
The person is going to try to rush you. They're going to tell you they're in a hurry. They've got to rush. They've got to grab the product and run out the door. Those are things people should be aware of, and just take your time.
Feel, look, and flip.
For more information on spotting counterfeit notes, you can check the Bank of Canada's website.
Tilt the note to make sure the metallic portrait and building change colors.
Polyakova has to hand over her fake bills to police this week. She will no longer be accepting cash selling goods through social media. Pat Foran, CTV News.
There's growing interest in Ontario municipalities looking at city-run grocery stores. It's something Toronto City councillors are actively exploring. As Kimberly Johnson reports, that's now spread to Ottawa, but there's also skepticism.
After decades in the business, Alfonso Curcio doesn't think a city should run a grocery store.
How are they going to run a grocery store? And how can they do it differently than the Loblaws and the Costcos and the Walmarts of the world?
An Ottawa councillor wants the city to explore the development of a municipal food strategy, which could possibly include a city-owned grocery store in an effort to improve food access.
The profit margin, say it's 4%. Right? The customer's not going to even see that, the cash.
But the owner of Farmers Pick on Prince of Wales Drive says profit margins are small, while the cost of doing business is rising.
Unless they're not going to pay any property taxes, not going to pay any gas or any hydro, besides that, how can they operate it any differently? Because minimum wage for everybody, right?
In a motion for Wednesday's council meeting, Councillor Marty Carr recommends council direct staff to explore a municipal food strategy that would look at food access, waste, production, and distribution. Carr's motion says the report would examine improvements to food access, including establishing food hubs and city-owned grocery stores. Last month, Toronto City Council approved a motion for the city to establish 4 not-for-profit city-run grocery stores. Sylvain Charlebois with the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University tells The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll that these types of stores can be used to address food deserts.
They're probably going to open up these stores in several downtown cores where theft, homelessness, drugs are a huge problem, and that's why grocers are just kind of avoiding downtowns these days.
I've never heard of anything like that, to be quite honest, but I think it would be a great initiative to begin with.
I think the city might better use its resources to support existing measures, such as food banks and supporting measures to support local farmers.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Apple has named a successor taking over the company when current CEO Tim Cook steps down in September. John Ternus joined Apple in 2001 and has played a key role in reigniting Mac computer sales. Ternus is 50 years old, the same age Cook was when he took over CEO duties from Apple co-founder Steve Jobs. Ternus won't become CEO, though. According to a company statement, his title will be executive chairman. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the base metals sector. The TSX dropped 552 points. In New York, the Dow fell 293. The Nasdaq lost 144. The Canadian dollar is up 0.03 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold lost more than $100 an ounce. Oil gained $2.25 a barrel. Coming up, fighting false information from artificial intelligence, the Canadian doctor concern over patients using AI for medical advice. Welcome back. Canadian doctors are sharing concerns over the number of people turning to artificial intelligence for health advice. A new survey reveals much of the information patients are getting puts them at risk. John Vanavalley-Rao reports.
I can do almost anything that could possibly be asked of me.
In videos posted by the Canadian Medical Association, doctors can be seen urging caution about the use of AI.
Do you ever use ChatGPT for health advice?
Something a lot of people do when they have a medical issue.
I think it's just a quick way to get a little bit of quick advice.
If my back starts hurting, I'm just going to go on ChatGPT, for example, and I'm going to be like, I did this and my back hurts. And then it's going to start giving me a whole list of things, and I'm just like, okay.
But physicians warning, while often free and fast, the advice can also be wrong.
If individuals decide to go online, I would say they have to be very curious and very cautious.
In a survey of more than 600 Canadian doctors, 97% said they'd had to intervene to prevent harm or address consequences after a patient followed false or misleading health information online, including from an AI.
So the problems are that the patient thinks they have one diagnosis when in fact they don't. They may have delayed treatment. They may have tried treatments that didn't work.
Some say they've turned to an AI because they don't have a family doctor.
I have a friend who would ask ChatGPT. Her reasoning was it's too much hassle to go, like book a doctor's appointment.
But the Canadian Medical Association says patients should always get a human expert to weigh in. In a recent study published in the journal BMJ Open, health questions were posed to 5 major AI models. 30% of the responses were deemed somewhat problematic. 20% were considered highly problematic.
They're not always accurate, and your best bet is to talk to a health professional or at least understand the sources when you're online looking for information.
And while AIs continue to rapidly improve, experts say they still struggle to reason like a human doctor. John Vanavalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
A hospital in Eastern Ontario has started using a new tool to treat cancer patients. It's called the pink drink, allowing surgeons to identify and remove cancerous tumors. With more, here's Sean Varden.
The Ottawa Hospital has a new tool giving surgeons an upper hand in the fight against cancer.
It's known as 5-ALA, and it's a drug that is ingested, so it is taken orally in patients about 4 hours before surgery.
Dubbed the pink drink, it's now coloring doctors and patients with more hope. Once taken, the drink metabolizes and turns certain cancerous tissue a fluorescent pink. It means the bad tissue is highlighted for surgeons who use a special microscope and blue filter.
That tells us where the tumor is and allows us to take out much more tumor than we would normally be able to. It tells us where the tumor is, and more importantly, it tells us where tumor isn't.
I was very pleased that it lit up the cancerous cells and that they were able to cut out all the tumor and some of the meat around it to ensure that they got all the cancer out of my spine.
For Jody Stang, the pink drink made a better outcome, with doctors having a clear roadmap on what to remove, limiting neurological damage. But if you're wondering how it tastes,
I must say it was the most horrible drink that I've ever had in my life. But then a few hours later, they wheeled me down to go to surgery.
The Ottawa Hospital investing big money to give patients a better chance. And while Jody's surgery allowed for precision in his back, doctors are impressed by the level of precision it can have while operating on the brain. Glioblastoma is one of the deadliest brain cancers, and Dr. Mohammed believes his liquid will improve the quality of outcomes.
The pink drink is one of those things that allows us to give patients more hope when they perceive no hope, and that is important.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
Officials with CUPE Ontario say the union's president is on leave amid a workplace climate investigation. In a statement, the union says Fred Hahn will be on paid leave for the length of the investigation. CUPE Ontario represents more than 300,000 workers. The statement says the investigation was launched in response to allegations made by a staff member, but no other details on the nature of those allegations have been released. Canadian rapper Drake unveiled a publicity stunt in downtown Toronto this week.
I was watching it on Twitter and everything like that yesterday. People trying to burn it, people trying to smash it down. It's awesome.
This album, Iceman, has been teased for so long and everyone's eager to, for it to release.
Apparently, somewhere inside this massive ice sculpture is the release date for Drake's next album titled Iceman. Toronto police were called in at one point as hundreds of people had gathered trying to chip away at the blocks. It was too cold for much melting yesterday, but warmer temperatures are expected in Toronto through the rest of the week.
Our snapshot of the day comes to us from Paul DeSico. Thank you so much. This was taken at Springbank Park in London yesterday. Lots of sunshine as we head through the rest of the week. Daytime highs into the upper teens, feeling the warmth of the spring season. Next opportunity for showers will roll in as we head into the weekend.
A downtown city councillor's motion calling for a provincial review of for-profit addiction treatment pharmacies received unanimous support at City Hall today. As Daryl Newcomb reports, the impact along Dundas Street has raised recent concerns.
This is the moment for the City of London to step up for the public good.
The London Health Coalition, as well as dozens of letters, all supported Councillor David Ferreira's motion, expressing concern about the growing number of what he calls for-profit, high-volume pharmacy models that distribute addiction treatment medications.
This is clearly leading to diversion. Like, if we were to expect someone who is suffering from addiction to take a prescription and follow the label on the bottle with no aftercare, with no wraparound supports, with nothing.
Ferreira's motion requests the mayor advocate for the province and relevant regulatory bodies to undertake an immediate review of the treatment and dispensing models where hydromorphone is prescribed, dispensed, and paid for with provincial funding.
There are vulnerable individuals who need help in our community, and they are not getting help through the current model.
This really is a gap and something we need to move on. We know the diversion of drugs is an issue. We've heard that LPS has been quite adamant about this as well. And if this is a loophole that we can close, we absolutely should take every opportunity to do that.
But Councillor Susan Stevenson criticized the motion for attempting to sidestep a debate about safer supply and harm reduction in London.
I don't know what this is asking for. You know, why does it not say we're asking them to stop safer supply?
MedPoint Care Pharmacy on Dundas Place told CTV News last week, quote, "We have clear operational protocols in place, maintain consistent staff presence, and take a proactive approach to addressing concerns and ensuring orderly conduct." Ultimately, the committee unanimously supported the motion to advocate for a provincial review. The mayor said he's already been speaking with other municipalities as well as healthcare institutions about the situation.
In every discussion I've had so far related to this, they all seem to be moving towards the same page to say this is not working.
Council will make a final decision on April 28th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
President Donald Trump has extended a ceasefire with Iran ahead of a potential second round of talks aimed at ending the war, despite this morning saying he did not want to do that.
I don't want to do that. We don't have that much time because by the time both parties get there, as you know, they just got the okay to go forward, which I knew they were going to do anyway. I mean, I don't think they had a choice. They have to negotiate.
The American vice president and other top U.S. officials were expected to leave for Pakistan today for those negotiations, and that's now being postponed indefinitely. Meanwhile, U.S. forces boarded a sanctioned oil tanker in the Indian Ocean today. Pentagon officials say military forces boarded the vessel without incident, part of ongoing efforts to limit movements of any vessel tied to Iran or suspected of carrying supplies which could help the Iranian government. Crown lawyers resumed their case today, arguing an ex-RCMP officer was working for China, putting the life of a Vancouver real estate agent in danger. With more on today's developments at the foreign interference trial, here's Judy Trin.
Former Mountie William Miker is accused of making plans to help China illegally repatriate a Vancouver man. The court heard that real estate agent Kevin's son was wanted in China in 2017, accused of defrauding a bank of $125 million. Beijing applied pressure on the RCMP to make an arrest, but Canada's police liaison refused. RCMP Superintendent Peter Choi testified that China didn't provide additional information for investigators to verify. The Crown asked what penalty Son would face if he was sent back. Choi responded the death penalty would be in play. Miker's lawyer says his client has nothing to do with China's policies.
China may do bad things in other countries. Many countries do bad things in other countries. It doesn't make it right, but it's nothing to do with this prosecution.
The Crown is alleging that Miker participated in Beijing's Project Fox Hunt, a campaign to bring economic fugitives back to China to face punishment. Human rights groups say people were stalked, threatened, and harassed, sometimes even kidnapped. The communist government would often hire private investigators and lawyers in Western countries to help locate targets. After Miker retired from the RCMP, he moved to Hong Kong, where he worked for a company that helped corporations recover stolen assets. In an intercepted email, Miker refers to a Vancouver real estate mogul with $100 million in assets.
I'm not aware of any suggestion that the complainant or alleged victim in this case was going to be kidnapped or that harm would come to him. That's the theory.
The defense argues much of the Crown's case is based on speculation. Some evidence collected by the RCMP has already been thrown out at this trial. A judge also ruled that Miker's charter rights were breached when he was first arrested 3 years ago at Vancouver International Airport without a warrant. Judy Trin, CTV News, Vancouver.
King Charles released a video message today about his mother on what would have been Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday.
Queen Elizabeth's promise with destiny kept shaped the world around her and touched the lives of countless people across our nation, the Commonwealth, and beyond. Her near century was one of remarkable change, and yet, through each passing decade, through every transformation, she remained constant, steadfast, and wholly devoted to the people she served.
The Queen was born in 1926. She then married Prince Philip in 1947 and inherited the crown in 1952. She died in 2022 at the age of 96 after becoming the longest reigning monarch in British history. And Lauren Stallone on the desk with me now. Behind the Lights coming up after the break. Lauren, we're talking about these.
Yes, we get to play with some beautiful toys that are also really fun and satisfying.
Very colorful, very sticky, very squishy. All right, that's coming up on the other side of the break.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
And before we go tonight, it's Behind the Lights with Lauren Stallone and these guys.
Oh, yeah.
What are these?
These are Neatos. Have you heard of them before?
I have not heard of these until you handed me one of them before the newscast earlier this afternoon. And the first time I touched them, a little off-putting.
I will say, though, I had to get it out of your hands. I mean, you were obsessed.
This one. So, yeah, give me this one first. This is a little bit different. It's a very different texture. So they come in a range of squishiness.
Exactly. So they're going viral on social media right now because influencers have been documenting their journey trying to find them because they are so popular that you really can't find them anywhere. So they come in, like we said, all different shapes, all different sizes, different versions. And the whole idea is they provide this stress relief, and it's just a great way to relax, especially for children. But as you can see from this TikTok, even people in the office So it's a lot of fun. I spoke with a local psychologist about how it's not just a fun, exciting toy to play with and look at. It can actually be really good for children and their mental health.
Fidget toys themselves can be very helpful in managing stressful situations, and especially around releasing nervous energy and in managing sensory input. When children and youth are feeling anxious or not themselves, using their hands to squeeze or manipulate a fidget can help them calm down their nervous system. There's also the benefits like improving focus and reduce feelings of overwhelm.
All right, we have brought in some experts now.
That's right,
As we mentioned, I'd never even seen these before today, but we've got Mason, Aiton, and Andre here who are going to tell us all about these.
Yeah, they know all about them. Boys, can you tell us why you like these toys?
So these toys are perfect for exams and stress relieving because they have different hardness, as this one is like water and this one is hard, so for different people how they like them.
Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I think I prefer the gummy bear one since it's like they have different shapes and they look better with these shapes, like the ice cream one or the cat one for cat lovers. I have a friend who is a cat lover and I think he would like it.
I'm not a fan of this one. This is the one that was distracting me earlier. It's too sticky. It feels like it's getting too stuck in my hand. I'm a big fan of the far one over there. That pink one, I like it a little more firm.
That one's mine. Do you boys have any of them?
Well, not yet. I want one, but it's really hard to find.
These right in front of us?
Well, these actually came in from one of our directors, his daughter Carly. She brought them in, and she was nice enough to write us a list here that basically says all the places you can get them because, like you all said, they're really hard to get right now. So we got that exclusive insight as well.
We're wishing you guys all the best in your pursuit of finding these. Now, I have a request for you, Andre, because we got you all mic'd up and we are just about to wrap up the newscast. So I was wondering if you could just send us off here.
Okay. That's it for us. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next new case is at 11 o'clock from all of us, CTV News London. Thanks for watching. Good night.
That was done. Good night.
Good night.